A recent college grad has spent the last 8 months recovering from the rare condition of Guillain-Barré syndrome.
She had to rely on her eyes to communicate with doctors and family for the first month.
They have the settings.
Months of rehab, a lot of grit, and some tears along the way. But Vanessa is determined to gain her strength back.
There you go. Good.
Vanessa was living in McAllen, had just graduated from college, was having fun looking for a job when her life was turned upside down.
I woke up on Christmas Eve and immediately realized that my feet are feeling numb and my fingertips and my mouth are feeling numb, and I'm really confused by this sensation.
Vanessa was first misdiagnosed in the emergency room with anxiety, but a few days later her condition diminished. She lost control of her legs, and then she couldn't swallow or breathe on her own.
I was really scared, and so I wasn't sure why I deserved this, but he got me out of it, and I'm here now.
When she came into the hospital, she was dependent for everything. She couldn't move any extremities. She was having problems with her vision, required a ventilator to breathe, required the feeding tube, and she had progressed so much.
Dr. Lisa Wenzel works at Tier Memorial Hermann, where Vanessa was eventually transferred for rehabilitation. She explains Vanessa's diagnosis of Guillain-Barré syndrome, or GBS.
An acute inflammatory condition of the nervous system. This is not the spinal cord and the brain, but it's actually the nerve after they've left the spinal cord.
It left Vanessa feeling trapped in her own body.
I was scared I wouldn't ever recover from this. I'm in such pain throughout my body. I'm burning, I'm freezing, I feeling like I'm being tied down, and all those sensations were just, it was like living in a nightmare.
The only body part she could move for a month, her eyes. So her mom and brothers would list the alphabet and she'd spell words one letter at a time by blinking her eyes. Here's a look at some of their actual conversations. Everything from asking for music to scratch an itch.
Bend your knees, a little bit more weight on your left foot, and sit down slow.
Finally, after 4 weeks, Vanessa started moving her head and then her legs.
They put a speaking valve on my, vent, and finally I heard my voice for the first time, and my brothers cried, and the first thing I said was hello. It was a really good day.
It was time to strengthen her body through rehab. Her mom transferred her from South Texas to Tier Memorial Hermann in Houston, the same place where her dad was treated when he was paralyzed.
She progressed really, really rapidly, really worked hard, was very, very dedicated. And so we were doing, by the end, we were, standing on one leg, walking on treadmills, we were doing stairs, we were doing all kinds of things, not using the walker anymore. So she did fantastic throughout her rehab.
Doctors say symptoms of GBS often occur days or weeks after a virus, and rarely recent surgery or a vaccination can trigger it.
Getting the flu shot 9 days before Christmas Eve had somehow triggered me to get Guillain-Barré.
Dr. Wenzel shares reassurance about the extremely rare occurrence as reported by the Centers for Disease Control.
The background rate for Guillain-Barré is about 80 to 160 cases per week, regardless of vaccination. And then the data on the association between Guillain-Barré and seasonal flu vaccines are variable and inconsistent across flu seasons. If there is an increased risk of Guillain-Barré syndrome following flu vaccine, it's small, on the order of 1 or 2 additional cases per million doses of flu vaccine administered.
Vanessa is relieved to be back on her feet and enjoying a reunion with one of the physical therapists who helped make it happen.
To see Vanessa walk back in and tell some stories about what's been going on is really encouraging, that we were able to help make a difference and return back to kind of normal life. So it's huge.
Vanessa finally got to go home this month and celebrate Christmas in August, since she's been in the hospital and rehab since December.
I'm only 23 and I went through a lot, so I'm I hope nothing else is as hard in life for me.